Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard, and today we're going to be taking a look at a cool little old rifle. This is a Stevens Crackshot Model 16. The Model 16 is a side lever rolling block instead of the lever action rolling block. This one, you just open it up, put your one round in there, go ahead and close it with the lever there. You have to pull the hammer back to be able to load it because you can't do it otherwise, and you have to pull it all the way back too. You cannot put it in the half cock position because then you can't open the breech block on there. So you pull it all the way back, open it up, load a round in there, close it, then carefully you can let the hammer down if you want. I wouldn't leave it sit directly on there. I would pull it back to the half cock position because you're going to be resting on the firing pin, and if you hit it, it's probably going to go off. Put it on the half cock, you can't pull the trigger, it's ready to go. Now this one has been I almost want to say that this one was kind of pieced together a little bit. It was definitely had some work done to it. It's evident by some beating on the rear sight to adjust it, line it up. The screw on the lever, the thumb lever, is not the correct screw that's in there. There's some filing done on the breech block itself. It still retains some of its original finish, not very much. It was a color case hardened frame or receiver on here. It was probably just a blued barrel, but all the bluing is gone, and there's some really fine small pitting on there. There's some dents in the wood there, probably from where they rested it on something to beat the sight over to that side. And another really cool thing about this gun is it is a takedown model. You got the little screw right down here at the bottom with the lanyard ring on it. That's it. That thing folds up nice and tiny. The barrel is actually longer than the stock itself. There's a little dimple right in the bottom there, and that's where your takedown screw is rounded on the end. It goes in there and kind of locks it in. Put it back together, just tighten that screw up a little bit, and you don't have to hammer down real hard on it. Just make sure it's in that little divot on the bottom. Give it a little snugging. It's good to go. Let's get this thing out there on the range and give it a few shots, see how it does. All right, it's another beautiful sunny day out here in Ohio on the range, and I've got the Stevens Crackshot out here. We're going to go ahead and get this thing loaded up and give it a couple shots at the target on the left, a little sight-in target, and see how it does. Now to load this one, I got my little box of Winchester 22 long rifle out here. These are 40 grain, 1255 feet per second. Small game, target, and plinking. We're going to plink today. So this is a single shot, one round at a time. It's all you can put in it. No magazine to hold any extras in there. And really, this is a fun rifle you could take out and plink all day long if you wanted to. And not going to cost you a fortune either. I did pick this up used, obviously. I'm not quite that old. But to load this, all you do is pull the hammer all the way back, flip the little lever down, and then you can put a round right in there. All right, one of the things I have noticed about this firearm is the breech block doesn't seem to fit flush up against the end of the chamber. I did fire it a few times already, and it's like the bullet doesn't seat all the way in there, so I get a little bit of swelling around the base close to the rim of the case. Just need to make sure it's pushed all the way up there, and it should be okay. You definitely want to wear glasses in case it fires kind of out of battery. That case doesn't pop open and spew a little bit of gunpowder out of there. Anyways, I got my glasses on, got my ears on, got my target moved up here. We're going to give it a try. Did not get a fire there. Let's open it up and try it. Check it out, see what happened. There is a dent on the rim. Let's re-index it and try it again. There's another one, no fire. Let's try a different round in there and see what happens. Not sure if you'll be able to tell here, but the firing pin seems to be hitting too close to the center and not actually pinching the edge of the rim. I have fired this gun a couple times already, and it shot fine. All right, I can tell you right now, I'm glad I had my safety glasses on, and this is a good reason for wearing safety eye protection when you're shooting a gun, especially an unknown firearm. This one's been around for a little while. This was a shot I just took off camera, and you can see that case is swollen and has actually split apart right at the rim. That's not a good situation to have in a firearm like this. It can handle the chamber, that's not the problem. The problem is the breech block itself. You can see maybe right in there, it doesn't fit nice and snug up against there. We'll pull this round out. I just fired this one and it shot okay. Pull that out of there. Take that round out and look at it. And again, you can see that that case is swollen right at the rim. So the bullet is not actually going in and seating like it should, and it's causing it to expand like that. I might need to put a new extractor in there. That might be what the problem is. I may need to face down the end of the barrel. I'll have to look into it and see how it does. Let's try a couple more rounds in there, of course with the safety glasses on, and see how it does. Because one of the shots I took, I did take it at my target there, and I only hit about maybe a ½ inch low of the bullseye. But definitely with this gun, it's eyes and ears for sure. Promise you I'll get a shot on camera. There we go. Now you can see I've had a lot of problems with this gun. It does need some work done to it, so I'm not going to shoot any more with it until I get to actually take it apart, do some good inspections on it, and see why it's doing what it does, why it's not, why it's firing kind of out of battery. The round is a little too far back when it does fire. That's what's causing the swelling of the case right above the rim. But I got 2 shots on the target there. Let's go over and take a look at them real quick. All right, there's the 2 shots right there. Didn't do too bad. I guess that's about an inch below the bullseye. That's where I was aiming at the bullseye there. It's a good shooting little gun so far. We've got to figure out what the problem is, why it's firing out of battery like that, or why it's misfiring most of the time anyways. And when it does fire, it's not the greatest. So let's tinker with it a little bit more. All right, here's the 3 cases I did manage to get to fire, and there's the first one. It completely split there at the rim. The other ones, you can see they're seriously deformed. And on the rest of these rounds, I don't know if you can see that, there's the marks on there where the firing pin's been hitting, but just not setting them off. And it looks to me like they're probably just, I don't know, they're not pinching the rim, they're hitting a little inside the rim there. But this gun, I think I'm going to go ahead and not fire it anymore until I get it checked out. All right, guys, there's the Stevens Crackshot. It's a really cool rifle. Really, I don't know. I just like them. I like some of these older rifles like this. This is from a time, you know, long ago. Like I said, this one was probably manufactured somewhere between 1900 and 1913. I'm sure it's had a lot of rounds pass through it over the years. It's probably been neglected through the years too. I did buy it used, and whenever you buy a used firearm, it needs to be checked out, and you need to be prepared for anything that could happen. Definitely want to wear some eye protection, ear protection, everything when you're firing it. And I mean, gloves wouldn't be a bad idea, long sleeve shirt, something like this. Like I said, with that case splitting open like that, a lot of unburnt powder and fragments, you know, flew out of there, and I did feel them pepper me a little bit. You definitely want to keep your face away from areas like that. If you can, get it checked out by a competent gunsmith. They're not always going to be able to see everything that's wrong with it. When I first put a round in there and closed the breech block on it, it appears that it's going to be 100% okay. That's not the case with this one apparently. It does have a little bit of slop in it that pulls back. Might need to, you know, do a little bit of metal building up on there to keep that breech block closed a little bit. And in fact, I've looked online a little bit and seen some things about them. There is a gap between the hammer and the breech block there, and ideally there should be really no gap there when this thing hits the firing pin. There is a little bit there. I might need to build it up, smooth it out a little bit to get that to really hold that breech block up against the end of the chamber there. There is a little bit of gappage between the end of the barrel and the breech block there. That needs to be fixed so that it doesn't have the opportunity to push back on it. But anyways, it's a really cool rifle. This one just needs a little bit of care. It can be brought right back into good working condition. There are a lot of parts available for these things, different websites that specialize in gun parts for older firearms. And this is a good candidate for one. If nothing else, it makes a really cool wall hanger, you know, from you know, in the gun room or something like that. It's just a really cool looking rifle. I just really like them. Anyways, if you get a chance, if you haven't already, please subscribe by hitting this button up here. You can hit this button over here to check out some of my other videos. And I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the Stevens Crackshot. This is the Model 16 with a little lever on the side there, not the lever action rolling block or falling block rifle. Anyways, thanks for watching Small Caliber Arms Review.